Successfully dating is like buying your dream house. How can that be? And how are these two things related? We are going to talk about that in this video. If you don't already know me, my name is Sara Slaybaugh. I am a divorced and remarried blended family Christian wife and mom, and I'm here to help you as a single Christian successfully date to find the relationship of your dreams. So let's talk about today's topic. Okay, so you may feel like you need to get into a relationship quickly to cure your loneliness. You may feel like there are good relationships out there, but they're just beyond your reach. Okay? You may feel so discouraged from dating and having the same cycle happen over and over and over in the dating process of meeting somebody, thinking they may be a match, only for it to come crashing down. You may feel like you don't even want to go into meeting somebody in person because there's no quality men to swipe right on. You're just swiping no, no, no all the time, right? So let me tell you, I can understand this. I dated as a single mom. I did online dating. I can help you get through it. So I always thought that I'd meet my man at Lowe's, that he would just be in the aisle and we'd meet and it would be wonderful, but that did not happen. And so I did do online dating and I am a fan of it, but there are ways to do it in a way that are less exhausting, that don't waste your time, energy, and emotions, okay? And that's something that I can help you through coaching if you're interested in that. So I felt these same things, the loneliness, the no after no after no, the disappointment, all of those things. I felt those at the time that I was dating. I wasn't seeing any quality men, right? Or I wasn't meeting men that were actual genuine Christians, okay? I met some people or talked to people online that were really just sleazeballs, and they had an opening message to me that was very perverted. And so that was not fun. And I'm sure some of you are going through that. So I thought maybe what I want doesn't exist. Maybe who I'm looking for doesn't exist. Maybe nobody actually has these qualities that I'm looking for, right? So I get it if that's where you are right now. But I know that there's hope because I got through it myself and I found my healthy remarriage, okay? So imagine if you were able to find a healthy relationship where you were treated correctly, where you were pursued rightly, where you were supported and cared for and loved. Imagine that for a minute. It would be worth trying to find that, right? Let me know in the comments if it would be worth it in the long run if you were to find the relationship you've always wanted. I'm sure that most of you would say yes. So now I'm going to explain how does this relate to buying a house. So let me tell you about our house buying journey. Okay, so we got married a couple years ago. He moved into my house. I love my house. It has such good character. We've got a yard. We've got a fenced-in yard. I have a nice master bathroom, but it would be nice to have a little bit more space. We don't have good garage space. There's a parking issue where we have to sometimes play musical cars and like rearrange cars. And so it would be nice to have some more space and some of the things that we wanted. It would be nice to have more land. That's really one of the things that's at the top of our list. It would be nice to have that, right? So earlier this year, probably about 6 months ago or so, we met with a realtor and gave her our list of what we wanted. And it's a long list. It was, the land, it was a bigger garage, it was parking issue. I would like to have a master bedroom separate from the kids area. I even had on that list, I'd like to have a master bedroom with walkout access to outside because that's what I currently have. And that's not something you would usually find, but it was on my list, right? We wanted to have outdoor access. We wanted to have either a swimming pool or a room for a pool. So I had a pretty long list that might be hard to hit all of those things, right? So she set up an email to come out to us that would show us like what houses would come on the market that would meet those criteria. And what happened was it was house after house after house that wasn't really what we were looking for. It might be a nice house, but it had no land. It might be a nice house, but the privacy that we would have there would be even less than what we would have here, And so the houses weren't really what we were looking for. And so we were getting a little bit discouraged, right? However, we weren't in a situation where we had to move. It wasn't a situation where it's like, oh, we've got a job change or a huge location change, and like we have a deadline, we have to be in a new house by such and such date. And so because of that, we had a lot of freedom in this, that we could just casually look at each house and say, it doesn't look like what we want, and so we're fine staying at my house, right? We're fine being where we are now if we can't get the things that we want to get. And so that's key to this journey, and that's key when you're dating also, okay? We'll talk about that a little bit more. So what wound up happening is finally a house come across, and it had everything that we wanted. It was hitting all of these things on the list. And I was just like, oh my gosh, this is a great house. This is worth us looking at. This is worth us putting more time in. This is worth us trying to get this house. And so we went and looked at it, and sure enough, it had the criteria that we wanted, and we really liked it. So we put in an offer and we got the house. So I'm so glad. We're so excited, right? It's what we were actually looking for. Okay. So how does this in any way relate to dating? So I have 4 things that I want to tell you that relates successfully buying a house to successfully finding your dream relationship. Okay, so number 1, I told you that we didn't have to move. Okay, if you are single, you don't have to be in a relationship. There is no deadline for you to be in a relationship. You don't have to be X amount of years old and make sure you're married by that age or whatever. There are single people of every age. Okay, so you don't have to get in a relationship. Just like we didn't have to move. And so that allowed us to be more selective, and it will allow you to be more selective when you're dating, because you don't have to get into a relationship. You only need to get into a relationship if you really want to be in that relationship. Okay, so when you're coming from a place of desperation, you're going to have to take what you can get, right? If we were in a situation where we had to move by a deadline, we would have to take whatever house we can get before that deadline, right? Just like if you're coming from dating out of desperation, you're just going to have to pick the relationship that's in front of you, right? Whatever's there, you'll have to go with it, right? So you don't have to do that. You don't have to be in a relationship. So you don't have to settle for what's currently available, just like we didn't have to settle for what was currently being shown to us, email after email after email. So don't just take what you can get thinking that it's here and now, and what you really want may not ever be here, and so I'll just take what's here and now. Be patient instead. Okay, the second way that buying a house relates to successfully dating is that, yes, we may have been more comfortable in a different house. So let's say we got a bigger house that had more space and it had a bigger garage. We may have been more comfortable. It may not still have the top criteria that we want, land being one of them and privacy being one of them, but we could be comfortable or more comfortable in other ways if we bought one of those houses that came across the emails before. So maybe if we had settled and said, well, you know, we really, really do want the yard and we really, really do want privacy, but let's just let that slide, right? And we just get a house that doesn't have that, but it does have some good criteria. We could have removed some of our frustrations. We could have removed our feeling of being uncomfortable with certain things in this house, and we could have been more comfortable in a new house, right? But we would still have that longing, or we would still have that in the back of our mind that it's not really what we wanted. And if you've watched any of my videos, you know that the number one thing that I think that Christians should look for when they're dating is a godly person, a genuine Christian. And I can help you through some coaching to figure out how to actually navigate that and how to find that. So DM me if you're interested in that. So, you know, we could have removed some of our frustration. We could have made ourselves more comfortable picking a different house sooner, okay? But it wouldn't have been what we wanted in the long run. So maybe you're uncomfortable being single. Maybe you're feeling lonely and you think, well, being in a relationship would be better than this. And so you go and you look at potential relationships, and even though they may not really be what you're looking for, you think, well, this will cure my loneliness, you know? This will help me feel comfortable. This will help me to stop feeling left out. This will help me to stop feeling like the third wheel. This will help me not be alone in my house by myself. And so you get in the relationship to ease those feelings. But let me tell you, this will not help you in the long run. Just like if we had chosen one of those houses that wasn't really what we wanted, in the long run, it wouldn't have really helped us, okay? It will actually hinder you from finding what you really want. Because if we had jumped on any of those houses that weren't really what we wanted, guess what? We wouldn't have been available to get this house that is what we wanted. It's just like dating. The third way that buying a house relates to successfully dating is we had to say no to house after house after house that came across our screen, right? It was discouraging. At times we wanted to quit looking because of the disappointment we would feel when a new email would pop up and promise this house that met our criteria, and then we'd take one look and be like, that doesn't really meet our criteria, even though it says it does, right? But that's what you have to do to successfully date. You have to say no over and over again, okay, to people that don't meet your criteria. You may be so discouraged at the amount of no's that you're seeing, you may want to quit. I would say maybe take a break. You're allowed to take a break. You can take your time when you're doing this. That's what I did from time to time when I was online dating. But continue to be open to a relationship. Just hold it loosely. So just hold it loosely, thinking, I'm going to see how this goes, instead of this relationship might be the one, maybe this will be the one that's for me. Just hold it loosely, okay? So we thought if a house comes across that meets our criteria, we'll look at it. But if it comes across and it doesn't meet our criteria, it's no big deal. We wound up just holding it loosely then, okay? We said no to that one and didn't waste any more time on it. Just like when you're dating, say no to the ones that aren't really what you want. Don't waste any more time, okay? We didn't get caught up on all the no's that we were giving because we were focused on the list of things that we really, really wanted. And if a house didn't meet those, it just didn't meet those, okay? Just like dating. If somebody doesn't meet your criteria, your main criteria, okay, it's okay. It's not a big deal. You don't have to feel shame about that. You don't have to feel bad. You don't have to feel guilty or anything like that. It's not a big deal. Just say no and be glad that you saved yourself some trouble, okay? The fourth way that successfully dating relates to buying a house is that when we saw the house that met all our criteria, we knew it met all the criteria, right? We knew because we were focused on that. We knew it was what we were looking for. We knew it was worth our attention, our energy to go look for it, and our emotions to try to get it. We knew we may not end up with the house, okay, but we had to try, because in a sea of houses that didn't meet what we wanted, this one did. So we had to give it a shot. We knew it was worth it. So similar to dating, when you find somebody that really does seem to meet the things that you're looking for, give it a shot, okay? That's the relationship that's worth looking into. So those are the 4 ways that these two things relate to each other. These are the things that are important for you to realize now, because you don't want to miss out on your dream relationship because you took another one out of desperation, or to be more comfortable, or you quit because it was too discouraging. You want to focus your energy on the relationship that's worth it. And when you find it, you'll know. So today we talked about the story about me finding my house and how it relates to successfully dating. So to recap, to successfully date, you need to take your time and not date out of desperation. You need to not be trying to cure your loneliness or become more comfortable. You need to be willing to give a bunch of no's and to view that as a good thing, because that will get you closer to your yes. And you need to recognize when somebody does meet your criteria and give them a chance. All of these things I can help you with in private coaching. If you are interested in that, drop a comment on this video, or you can email me at Sara@saraslaybaugh.com. If you need additional help with this, there are also links in the comments. If you want to join my Facebook group, you can do that as well. So I love helping you through these issues. If you have any questions, contact me. Hit the like button on this video, share it with somebody if you think it might benefit them. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of the videos that I'm putting out. And you can start by watching some of the ones that are popping up on your screen now.